We are in Parashat Shemot. We're starting a new Chumash, and I heard a funny joke that I have to share with you. That there was once an individual who had a very, very close to his heart. He had a donkey, and the donkey grew with him for many years, and he helped him, and they went through a lot together. And unfortunately, at some point, the donkey died. So he goes to the local rabbi, and he tells him, "Rabbi, my donkey has died, and I would like to donate in his name a nice donation for the synagogue, and maybe you can write something for the memory of the donkey." And the rabbi tells him, "What? I can't. What do you want me to do? Like, to make a memory for the donkey? It's an animal. I mean, we don't do that." He tells him, "No, Rabbi, you do not understand. This donkey was part of my family. For 20 years, he helped me in my business, and he was part of the family. I'm very sad that my donkey died, and I want to donate some money, and I want to donate it to the shul, and I want you to make some type of a memory, in the memory of the donkey. You know, they do it, they put the names on the Sefer Torah, on the ark, on the library. I want you to do in the memory of my donkey." So I'm sorry to tell you, but we can't do such a thing. It's a donkey. Tells him, "Rabbi, you know that if I go across the street to the Reform Shul and I give them $100,000, they'll do it." So he says, "Oh, why didn't you tell me the donkey was Jewish?" So, donkey is a very weird animal. I wouldn't say weird, but the animal of the donkey has a lot of character traits and a lot of qualities that is not putting him on the top scale in the chart there. It's a stupid animal, doesn't have much of a brain, it's very stubborn, it's even for work, it's very slow, walks very, very slow. And you know, it's literally made, the best it can do is to carry things. That's what it does. And comes a big question that we see that in Judaism, it seems like the Torah likes donkeys. And we see in this parasha that Moshe Rabbeinu is going to redeem the nation, and the vehicle of his choice is a donkey. And brings a big question. What's with the donkey? So, you know, Bechlal we see from the donkey, where do we everything in this world is expressed by its name. When Adam HaRishon was created, everything was brought in front of in front of Adam HaRishon, and Adam HaRishon named it based on how he saw the godly revelation in the creation, and Adam HaRishon named it. So Adam HaRishon was brought, all the animals, all the vegetables, everything. And you know, the Kadosh Baruch Hu put a lion in front of him. He saw the godly revelation in, and he says, "Okay, this is Aryeh, this is a Gamal, this is a Ze'ev," whatever it is, all the animals of the names of the animals. Then when the donkey came, he looks at the donkey, and he says, "You know, I don't see much here. There's not much of a brain there. There's not much of anything. The only thing that I see here is something material, and the material in Hebrew is chomer." So he says, "This is chamor. There's nothing there. It's just bones and flesh, and there's you know, other animals you can train, and you can teach them to do things. And this animal you can't." So comes, of course, a question: why does the Torah like donkeys? We find many times the stories with donkeys, but specifically in this week's parasha, Moshe Rabbeinu is going to redeem the Jews, and what is he taking with him? He's going to ride on a donkey. So I want to know, what's this thing with donkeys? Because you know, we find also that Avraham Avinu had a donkey, Bilam had a donkey, and you know what? Mashiach is coming on a donkey. So, which I know, you know, somebody told me not too long ago a funny thing. He says, "You know why Mashiach is not coming? Because he chose to ride on a donkey. It takes him so long. Donkey's going very, very very, very slow. I said, you know what, I think maybe Mashiach is just not happy with the vehicle he was assigned. Trump is getting a Cadillac. Vladimir Putin gets a Mercedes. Bibi Netanyahu gets, I don't know what, a Peugeot. And he gets a Hamor. Give him a Rolls Royce or something. Maybe he will come. Maybe he says, listen, I'm not happy with the vehicle. So we see that in this week's parasha, Moshe Rabbeinu is going out of Midian to save the day. He's going to Mitzrayim, and what does he choose to come down with? He takes his wife, he takes his kids, and puts them on a donkey. Why a donkey? Donkey is known to be an animal that walks very, very slow. Aren't you in a rush to go to Mitzrayim? I mean, Hashem just told you, listen, they had enough there. They're in exile for 210 years. They're under severe slavery there. Go there and get them out. You would think he would get a horse, an Arabian horse, and fly down there. You're going in a donkey that will go, you know, in a pace of like a kilometer every 10 hours. Now, Rashi asks about this donkey of Moshe Rabbeinu. Which donkey was it? Rashi says this is the donkey that Avraham Avinu had. You know the story we read every day that Avraham Avinu was told to go and sacrifice his son. Then he had to take a donkey with him. And it says, Vayashkem Avraham Baboker, Avraham Avinu woke up early in the morning and he took a donkey. Rashi says this is also going to be the donkey that Mashiach is going to come on. Which also brings a big wonder about this donkey. What's the deal with the donkeys? There is a Talmud, there's a Gemara that says that there was a certain individual, that he was the king of Persia, and he told to Shmuel Hanavi, and you know why? I mean, there's an argument if it's Shmuel Hanavi or Shmuel the Amorah, but nevertheless, he says there, you know why your Mashiach is not coming? Because your Torah says that he's going to come on a donkey. And the donkey is a very slow animal, and that's why he's not coming. So, you know, the prophet says that Mashiach is going to come on a white donkey. A few months ago, we were sitting on the porch, and we were talking with somebody about Mashiach, and as we're talking, somebody comes with a white donkey. A real white donkey. And we're sitting on the porch, and we're talking. I was inspiring them to come and do Aliyah to Eretz Israel, and I'm telling them Mashiach is coming, you better be here. And as we're talking, some guy walks up with a white donkey, and I said, you see? Here's the donkey, you got it. So, well, it was funny. Now, the thing is that the prophet says that he's going to come on a white donkey, but really it's not a white donkey. Rather, the donkey is going to have 100 shades. That's what it's referring to. What are these 100 shades? It says in the Gemara, Bar Chiver Gavna, that it's going to have, Chiver is white, but it says in the Gemara that it's going to have, that's where it's taken from, but the Maharal from Prague says no, it's not specifically the color white, rather, you know, when you want to paint something, you have to put a base. White is a base, and on that you can put, if you have a base, you can put on it many different colors. The place where they take the chamar, the chiver, chiver in Aramaic is white, so the Gemara learns from that the donkey is going to be white. But rather, it's not going to be specifically a white donkey, rather with many different shades on it. Now again, why a donkey? I mean, you would expect a more noble animal, maybe a horse, or something a little bit more serious, specifically a donkey. Avraham Avinu takes a donkey, Moshe Rabbeinu takes a donkey, Mashiach on a donkey. It brings a big question that we want to address today. If the Torah is talking about something so repetitively, there's obviously something to learn from that, and I want to learn, and since it's in my parasha, then I want to see why specifically a donkey. Now, there is a story in the Talmud that there was a certain individual, his name was Talmai, and he was a king, and he wanted to translate the Torah to many different languages. Now he knew how the Jewish mind works. He knew that in the oral Torah and in the written Torah there are things that if a non-Jew will read, it won't sound so nice. It might even sound degrading, or might even sound very offensive. And he knew that even in the Talmud, they're changing a little bit the verses, so it's not going to sound like what they want to say. Because that's what happened many times. Non-Jews would come into the printing house and read what it says in the pages of the Talmud, didn't like something, they would burn the whole thing. So in the Gemara, a lot of the things are more hidden because they didn't want to make it so obvious. Same thing, he was afraid that in the Torah, that if he would give somebody to translate the Torah, he would know that it's going to the hands of a non-Jew, and the non-Jew would read it and it will sound maybe offensive or not appropriate. And that's the reality, that sometimes a non-Jew will read something from the Torah and it says, wait a minute, that doesn't sound nice, but that's the word of God to do a certain thing. So this specific individual, Talmai, he wanted to translate the Torah, and in order not to fail, that he said, I don't want the person who's translating to trick me, then by changing verses, he hired 72 men. 72 men to translate the Torah, and he says if one lies, then obviously they're not going to know which one is which lie. I'm going to separate them completely, so they're not going to have communication. No WhatsApp, no Facebook, and no phones, and no sending each other messages. Let's lie here. I'm going to separate them. That way, if one lies, I will pick up on it, and they don't know how they will not know what the other one writes. And this story can be found in the Talmud, in Masechet that is called Megillah. Nevertheless, there was an unbelievable miracle, and they all changed the same. And there is a verse, for example, that a lot of things were changed. So in the Torah it says, Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. In the beginning, Hashem has created the heaven and the earth. They changed it, Elokim bara bereshit et hashamayim. So nobody will come and say, hey, wait a minute, Bereshit bara Elokim. Bereshit is a different God, and He created Elokim. So they changed it, Elokim bara bereshit et hashamayim. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, instead of saying Bereshit created God, because it wouldn't sound so good, and somebody can distort it. So there's a lot of verses that they changed, and the miracle was that they all changed the same things. Now, there is a verse in the Torah that it says, Vayikach Moshe et ishto vanav, vayarkivem al noseh bnei adam. The verse says that Moshe took his wife and his kids, and he made them ride on a donkey. They all changed the verse that Moshe took his wife and kids and put it on a human carrier. They didn't use the word donkey, rather noseh adam. An animal that it can be anything, can be a camel, can be a horse, can be anything. Now the miracle was that they all changed it the same. Now this fits very well in the story that we just said. But again, we find again the question, so why a donkey? What's the problem with a donkey? And why the Torah, like in the time when they translated, they had to change. What's the problem with a donkey? Why can't you just say Moshe took his wife and kids on a donkey? And again, we bump into this concept of the donkey, first of all, with Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu, then later than Moshe, then after that Mashiach. And there's other stories that we find with donkeys. But the three dominating ones that is talking about a donkey is Avraham, Moshe, and Mashiach. If you notice, if you go by the pattern, Avraham woke up in the morning and it says, Vayachvosh et chamoro. He just put the saddle on and he put all the wood on him. That's what it says, that he put like some type of a saddle on the donkey, and then he took all the wood that he was supposed to burn and put it on the donkey. So Avraham Avinu just used the donkey to carry his stuff. Later on, Moshe already put his wife and his kids on the donkey. Moshe Rabbeinu walked, And since it was a long journey, then he put Tzipora and the boys on the donkey, and the donkey carried the wife and kids, but not Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu went walking. But as you see a little upgrade, Avraham Avinu just carried a load, Moshe already put his wife and kids on it. And Mashiach, Ani verochev al chamor. Mashiach is coming on the donkey. So we see another, but the donkey got already an upgrade. In the beginning, the donkey was carrying the load. Then with Moshe Rabbeinu was carrying humans. And in Mashiach, he's already carrying the Mashiach. That's already a big upgrade. So of course, there's a more inner meaning to it. There's much more than just a theory or just a story. And to understand it all, we have to give a little bit of a background of what's going on here. Am Yisrael, the children of Yaakov, are in Mitzrayim for 210 years. We just read the beginning of the parasha. Yaakov dies last week. Yosef dies. That's how we end the Chumash of Bereshit. And in this parasha, we see all the kids, they go down to Mitzrayim, and then also they all die. And a new king comes, and slowly they start becoming their servants and their slaves. For 210 years they're in Mitzrayim. And for the last 86 years, things change. They comes the new king, and he says, listen, this nation is growing and growing. What happens if they'll become our enemy? And they will go to war with us. They're going to be outnumbering us, and they will win us. We have to do something about it. And right away, they start putting them under slavery. And the slavery becomes, in the beginning, they just made them work. And they were just their servants. Then they became much more strict, and more. And at some point, they became literally slaves. And they didn't give them normal jobs. They just told them, carry this here, bring this back here, bring this back here, just to drive them nuts. Why? Only for one thing, to stop them from having babies. But they were afraid that they will multiply and will grow and grow and grow, and they'll outnumber them, and then if they should be a war, then there'll be much more. So how do you make somebody from stopping babies? They didn't have abortion clinics, and they didn't have birth controls. So how do you make somebody not have kids? By oppressing them, by breaking their body, by making them tired. If you put the men to work all day long, they come home at night, they don't want to be with their wife. They're tired, they're broken, they're wounded. So they started by just working them hard. They saw that they continue having babies. Kechol sheyanunu ken ifrotz. The more they put more pressure, the more babies they had. So they were trying to find out, well, how are we making these guys stop? First we just put them to work, it didn't work. We make slaves out of them, that didn't work. So Paro comes and says, okay, I see that the slavery is not putting them at rest. Just kill the babies. Just throw them into the water. If it's a boy, throw them into the water. Now, of course, that's where the later stage came, that if it was a boy, it should be thrown into the river, and if it's a girl, you can let her live. Which of course is a question, why specifically the boys? You would think, kill the girls, they're the ones who's having babies, not the boys. So Paro had a lot of advisors, and they were all sorcerers, and they knew all sorts of secret powers of the universe. They were like mechashfim. How do you say mechashef? Like a wizard, but there's another word, not a wizard, Morlock. And so they knew to read in the stars, they knew all sorts of black magic, they knew how to, if you remember when Moshe comes in with a staff and change it to a snake, they were able to do that too. Nevertheless, they told Paro, the redeemer of this nation is a boy, is a man. So it's like, okay, so every a boy we have to kill. That way they're not going to be redeemed. They can have babies, I don't care. But as long as they can multiply, we'll have more servants, but not boys. Boys will throw them into the ocean. So, easier to move me, right? No, I know. So, I'm saying easier to move me than the camera. So 86 years they're in Mitzrayim under severe slavery, and it's all to stop them from having more babies. Now comes Moshe Rabbeinu, an 80-year-old man that the Torah doesn't tell me much about him. Until the age of 18 I knew he grew up in the house of Paro, and then he disappears. 62 years, I don't know what's going on with the man. And when we have midrashim that explain to us where he was, what he did, but suddenly the guy's 80 years old, taking his sheep for a walk, suddenly see an amazing sight. He sees fire, a bush on fire, and he's looking, and the bush is not being consumed by the fire. He comes a little bit closer to see what's this thing. And of course Hashem reveals himself to him and tells him, I want you to go down to Mitzrayim and get my kids out of there. Moshe is like, you talking to me? What do you want from me? I'm already retired. Look at my Tudat Zut. I'm 80 years old. What do you want from me now? Hashem tells him, no, they're in slavery, and I have promised them to redeem them, and I want you to be the man. Moshe says, me? I don't want to. I really don't want to. Leave me alone. And Hashem says, no, but I have chosen you. So a whole week there's negotiation. Like the Palestinians. They talk to them, nothing happens. But, a whole week there's a negotiation with Moshe Rabbeinu and Hashem. And Hashem says, I have selected you. Moshe goes like this and like that and like this and anything to get rid of this job. Moshe Rabbeinu says to him, I'm very happy being retired. Let me just die quietly. Why are you bothering me right now? So, for 5 days, there was an argument. On the 6th day, Hashem already got upset. That's what the Torah says at the end, Vayicharaf Hashem. Then Hashem says, listen, stop already. And every day, Moshe Rabbeinu comes with a different argument why he should not do it. So the first thing that Moshe Rabbeinu says on the first day, he says, Mi Anochi, who am I? Me? I'm the one who's going to redeem? And not only that, where are you sending me? You're sending me into Mitzrayim to tell Paro, let them go? That will never work. First of all, look at me. I'm old. I'm nobody. And then more than that, you want to send me to Mitzrayim, to the powerful nation of Mitzrayim, to go into the palace of Paro and tell them, let my people go? That's not going to work. Sorry, it's not going to work. The next day, another argument. And in the beginning, Hashem answers him for everything. But the next day, Moshe Rabbeinu says, okay. The first day, Hashem answered him, don't worry, I will make Paro listen. Because Moshe Rabbeinu says, why would Paro listen to me? So Hashem answered, don't worry, I'll take care of that. I'll shkvetch him, I'll squash him, he will listen to you. So Moshe Rabbeinu comes on the second day, and he says, Enoch, I'm sorry, I don't know you. Telling to Hashem, I don't know who you are. How can I represent you if I don't even know who you are? If I'm a salesperson, I need to know what's the product that I'm selling. And not only what's the product, who's the person who's sending me. A good salesperson not only knows the product, he can tell about the company. This company sent me. I don't know you. So Hashem tells him, no problem. You want to know who I am? I'll tell you who I am. And he reveals himself exactly who he is. He answers him, Ehyeh asher ehyeh, which in itself has a lot of deep meanings, and he basically explained to him who he is. He revealed to Moshe Rabbeinu his essence. How many people get that? One, Moshe Rabbeinu. Okay, so the third day Moshe Rabbeinu comes and says, the Jews will not believe me. I shouldn't even say Jews, Bnei Israel, the sons of Israel. We weren't called Jews at the time. But anyways, he tells them they're never going to believe me. Why should they believe me? This old man, I'm just coming there. Why would they? I'm coming with my stick and telling them I'm the Mashiach. Why would they believe me? First of all, they also had tzaddikim at the time. Aaron HaKohen was in Mitzrayim. They had a lot of elderlies. They had Torah going on there. There were the place where the Kohanim used to live. Nothing happened there. They weren't working there. The Levim, the Shevet Levi. They weren't Kohanim then, but Shevet Levi weren't in slavery. Moshe Rabbeinu says, why would anybody believe me? They wouldn't believe me. Then the fourth day, he sees that it doesn't work. On the fourth day, Moshe Rabbeinu tells him, listen, it's not going to work. I stutter. Ani kvad peh. I can't talk. I stutter. There's a story when Moshe Rabbeinu was 3 years old. He took Paro's crown, and the advisors all said, he's taking the crown from you. One day he will take the crown from you. And there's a whole story. And Moshe Rabbeinu, he took a coal, and then it says that Malach Gabriel took it and put it in his mouth, burned his mouth. Anyways, Moshe Rabbeinu used to stutter. What amazing is that he used to stutter only when he talked. When he said Torah, he didn't stutter. So only when he actually had to had a conversation. That's why all the conversation with Moshe Rabbeinu talked to Paro in Lashon Kodesh, and Aaron translated it. So in order for Moshe Rabbeinu not to sound like, what kind of a leader, you're coming here and you're stuttering. So Moshe Rabbeinu would talk firmly in Lashon Kodesh, and in the Egyptian language he would stutter. Anyways, so when Moshe says, listen, I can't talk, I stutter, then Hashem says, don't worry, I'll send you your brother, he will help you. Every time Moshe comes with an argument, then Hashem calmly tells him, no, don't worry. Anyways, at some point, Moshe Rabbeinu was a little bit too pushy, and he says to him, Shlach ya beyad tishlach. Then Hashem says, listen, up until here, Vayichar af Hashem. Then Hashem says, I had enough with your arguments. I took a whole week of your arguments, now you're going to do what I tell you. And anyways, for every little thing, it's not less important right now, every little thing, he gave him an answer. At some point that Moshe Rabbeinu says, why would the Bnei Israel want to listen to me? They won't believe. So Hashem says, you're talking Lashon Hara about my kids? And he told him, put your hand in your shirt. He took his hand out, it was full of leprosy. And he says, listen, you can't talk Lashon Hara about my kids. Don't talk bad about my kids. If you have an issue, that's your problem. But don't talk about them. Long story short, Hashem told him, listen, up until now, your answers, your argument had kind of common sense. You said you stutter, they won't believe you, Paro's not going to believe you. At some point, you don't talk sense here. That's what Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu. What you're saying doesn't make even sense. There's a funny story that is resembling it, that the Baal Shem Tov had a student. He had many students, but the most dominating student was the Magid from Mazrij, who had a very big yeshiva in the city of Mazrij, and anyone who wanted to learn the teachings of Chassidut went to that city. And all these famous names that we learn in the world of Chassidut, they all went there. That generation, they all used to go from all sorts of places. There wasn't really a yeshivot that taught Chassidut. So all these famous names, like Rabbi Yitzchak from Bardichov, Rabbi Israel from Rozhin, Elimelech Milizhansk, Rabbi Zusha from Anipoli, all these names that we hear a lot, each one came from their city and they were named after their city. Levi Yitzchak, he came from Bardichov, so he was named as Levi Yitzchak mi Bardichov. Israel came from the city Rozhin in Poland, so he was known Israel from Rozhin. And Elimelech Milizhansk, Rabbi Zusha from Anipoli. Everybody got their name based on the city where they came from. But it was a very, very famous yeshiva. Whoever wanted to learn the teachings of Chassidut went there. One of the youngest students that came there is Rabbi Shneor Zalman Miliadi, who was known as the Baal HaTanya or the Admor HaZaken, the Alter Rebbe. But he was called there, we call him the Baal HaTanya or the Admor HaZaken, the Alter Rebbe. His name was Rabbi Shneor Zalman Miliadi. He came from Liadi. Anyways, he was the youngest of all the group. And one time, the Magid from Mazrij told the Baal HaTanya, Yom Kippur is coming up, and the Baal Tkiyah, the one who's blowing the shofar, is not going to be here. Can you blow the shofar for us? He says, listen, I'm very sorry, I can't help you here. Why can't you help me? He says, listen, I don't know all the kavanot of really what to think of to blowing the shofar. After all, it's your shul. I'm going to be blowing the shofar for you and all these giants, all these tzaddikim. I don't know all the meaning behind it, the intentions of the Tkiyat shofar, or exactly what the Arizal is explaining. And The Maggid from us, he says, no problem, I will teach you everything what the Arizal says, all the kavanot, all the intentions, I'll teach you everything. A whole month he sits with him and he's teaching him all these hidden secrets behind the tkiyot. And after that, he tells him, okay, now can you litkoa b'shofar? Now can you be the one who's blowing the shofar on Yom Kippur? Balatan says to him, no, I still can be. He says, but I just taught you everything. He tells him, but I don't know how to blow the shofar. Now you taught me all the kavanot, but I don't know how to practically do it. So he tells him, now you're telling me that? You let me teach you all the kavanot, but you don't even know how to blow the shofar? Same thing here. Moshe Rabbeinu was trying to get all this information from Hashem. Who are you? I don't even know who you are. Why are you asking me who I am if you're telling me I don't even go? Don't ask me who I am. Don't ask me how things are going to work. So Hashem is like, listen, Ad Kan, Vayicharaf Hashem. Hashem got upset and says, listen, you're going to do what I tell you. Okay. Moshe is still arguing, and he sends Hashem to 2 addresses. I don't want to do it. Moshe says, I do not want to do it. I'm happy being retired. Moshe Rabbeinu sends Hashem to 2 addresses. First of all, he tells him, listen, I have an older brother. Go to him. It's more appropriate. I'm a younger brother. I'm 80 years old. Aaron HaKohen was at the time 83 years old. He tells, I have an older brother. Go to him. What do you want from me? Hashem says, no, I'm not going to Aaron HaKohen. So Moshe Rabbeinu came with another terutz, another address, and tells him, you know what? I'm not Mashiach. Tell Mashiach to go and do it. I'm not the Mashiach. So if you're going to have the Mashiach that will do the complete and final redemption, let him go into Mitzrayim and let him do it. There's not going to be 2 Mashiachim. There's only going to be 1 Mashiach. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, if you don't want to go to my brother, then go to the Mashiach. Let him do it. I don't want the job. Well, so of course, Hashem told him, no, you are you starting to pave the way to Mashiach, therefore you have to do it. You're right, you're not going to be the final Mashiach, but you start it. Now, this is where the secret of the donkey is lying there. Hashem answers to Moshe Rabbeinu, you know that this donkey is the donkey of Avraham Avinu. Now, just imagine what's going on here. Avraham Avinu is 100 years old. He waited all his life to have a child. Hashem comes and tells him, take this child and go and slaughter him. Avraham Avinu wake up in the morning, puts the saddle on the donkey, throws Yitzhak, and yalla, let's go, we're going. Didn't even ask a question. Not only that, Vayashkem Avraham Baboker, he woke up early in the morning. You're telling me to do something? Right away. We see it in many different places that Hashem has requested somebody to do something. Right away he did it. Not only that, not too far ago, we just learned that Yaakov sends Yosef to go and get the brothers when they went to Shechem. And Yaakov says, Yosef, and Yosef answers, Hineni, I'm here. Whatever you say, I'm going to do. How they say, your wish is my command. Yosef knew that the brothers hate him. Yosef knew that if he goes down to see them, they're going to do something bad to him. But his father told him, he didn't ask questions, he just said, Hineni, I'm here. Just tell me what you want me to do. And Moshe, the whole week negotiating, I don't want to, send him, send that. Hashem tells him, I need to convince you. I need to tell you what to do. I'm telling you what to do. I don't need to convince you. I told Avraham Avinu to go slaughter his child. He put him on the donkey and he left. He didn't put Yitzchak on the donkey, but he put the wood, put it on the donkey and left. I have to understand here. You have to understand what I'm telling you. When I told Avraham Avinu to slaughter his child, he didn't ask questions. He took away right away what he needed and he left. So this is answering the first argument that Moshe Rabbeinu told him, they're not going to believe me, I don't know who you are, why would Paro listen to me, I'm stuttering. Hashem says, I need to convince you. I'm telling you what to do. There's not an option here. You know, in Hebrew we say, "Lo tochlit kebakashatcha." What, you think you're applying here? I want to do this. I'm telling you what to do. This is what you have to do. There's no questions here. If I want somebody else, I will go somewhere else. For the second argument that he told him, go to Aaron, tell Mashiach to come, Hashem answered to Moshe, you are Mashiach. You're not the Mashiach that will do the final redemption, but you are the one who's starting the redemption. You are paving the path of the redemption of the Geulah. You are Mashiach. I'm not going to go to the last Mashiach. I mean, Moshe Rabbeinu knew he's not Mashiach, because Moshe Rabbeinu comes from Shevet Levi, and Mashiach comes from Shevet Yehuda. He knew that. He read the script. Yaakov told Yehuda, Mashiach is coming out from you. So Moshe knew he's not the Mashiach. She says, if I'm not finishing it, what do you want from me? Hashem says, no. You are also a Mashiach, and you are starting it. Therefore, there's no question here. I'm not going to go to Aaron. You are the one. End of story. So okay, now we're going back again to the same question. Why the Chamor? What's with this donkey? Now Hashem told Moshe, this donkey belongs to Avram. And this donkey, Mashiach is going to come on it. You know how old this donkey is? If it's Avram Avinu's donkey, we're talking about 400 years between Avraham Avinu to Moshe Rabbeinu. That's already 400 years. About 3,300 years from Matan Torah. This donkey is 3,700 years. He's gonna. That's no. Now wonder why Mashiach is taking his time. Can you imagine this donkey walking like, the 3,700 year donkey? He's not getting anywhere. But just how many stops he has to take. Now there's actually an opinion that says that this is the son of the donkey that was born Ben Hashmashot. In the Mishnah of the Tractate Avot, it's talking what was created in the twilight time. One of them is the Chamor. It says the Aton. There's one opinion that says that this donkey is the son of the Atons, and this is like a 4,700 year donkey. But Aton is Shel Bilam, but this is the son of the Aton. The Aton is the donkey of Bilam. But there's one opinion that says this donkey, this famous donkey, is the son of the Aton. So that's a 57-plus-year-old donkey. So, probably takes a step a minute. Anyways, the Maharal actually says it's not the same donkey. It's just an idea, a parable. It's not really the actual donkey. Now, we want to understand what's this donkey. There's a story. There was a village in Ukraine that is called Slonin. And this village developed from it a beautiful group. There's a Chassidut called Chassidut of Slonin. And there was a village there. The rabbi who started the Chassidut, very famous, his name is Rav Avraham Weinberg. He was the Rebbe of this Chassidut. Up until today, you can find the group that is called Slonin. Anyways, one time was Erev Shavuot, was Chag Shavuot. Just be careful from the wire there. Yes. It was Chag Shavuot, and he saw a man. He's walking in with his etrog and lulav into the sukkah, and he sees a man, a very simple man, but there's like light. All his face is full of light. And he tells him, "Wow, who are you?" He says, "I'm nobody." No. You're something special. I see this light on your face. No, I'm nobody. I'm just a simple Jew. He says, no. I see very special lights on your face. You must have done unbelievable mitzvah. No, I don't think it's me. I think you have a mistake, Rebbe. So he tells him, no, you have done something very unique. So he tells him, well, I don't know if it's that's what you consider unique, but I'm a soldier in the army. And, they don't really consider the fact that I'm Jewish, so they don't let me do things. And if I were asked to do something Jewish, I will probably get punished for that. But I know that today is Sukkot, and I was just waiting for everybody to leave the base. And the second that everybody left the base, I grabbed a piece of bread, I jumped over the fence, and I ran into the sukkah just so I can say, Asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'shev b'sukkah. That I could fulfill the mitzvah of sitting in the sukkah and eating bread. That's. I don't know if this is what you see. He says, yeah, that's where this light is coming from. That you're willing to risk your life, and you jump over the fence just to sit in the sukkah And to say this bracha and to have this little mitzvah, this is such a powerful act that your face is shining, and I can see that shine on your face. And the thing is that the light that the neshama is producing, the body is shining with that. When you do an outstanding mitzvah, then it comes out in the body, gets absorbed with that. Now I'm not talking about, there's some mitzvot that are easy to do, and some mitzvot a person really goes out of their way to perform this mitzvah. And what it does, this unbelievable shine is showing on the face. Now maybe we don't see it. The Rebbe from Slonin was able to see it. He was such a tzaddik, he was able to see the light on the face. If we would be able to see it, we would see that sometimes a person does an unbelievable mitzvah and the face is glowing. You know where you sometimes see it? Sometimes you meet a person who says, wow, you look amazing today. What, you took a haircut? No. New dress? No. But you look amazing today. Sometimes you hear that and you can say, oh, something's coming from inside.
You see it when somebody comes out of the mikveh.
Yeah, when somebody comes out of the mikveh. I mean, sometimes you can see, yeah, you can see it on a bride, or you can, sometimes you can see on a person this glow, and you can understand from that the person did some unbelievable mitzvah, and it's shining in such of a way that some people are able to see it. Now, the body is chomer, is physical, it's material, but and the body was created for this world, but the soul is eternal. The soul is spiritual, and our job in this world is to take the body that is physical and to sanctify the body, and to elevate the body, to refine the body to become holy. And when a person does a mitzvah, doesn't right now which type of mitzvah, any type of a mitzvah that a person does, this godly light surrounds the body. The more powerful the mitzvah is, the more godly light will shine. And that's what happens when I do a mitzvah. When I do a certain mitzvah, now when the mitzvah is easy for me, okay, so maybe the shine is not that huge. But when I totally go out of my way, sometimes a mitzvah comes in my way and I don't want to do it. Somebody knocks on my door and I know, I don't want to talk to this person right now. He's going to take all my time, or he's going to ask me for money, or he's going to ask me to sleep on the couch. I don't have where to sleep, and I don't want to do the mitzvah. And sometimes, there's a mitzvah that is called achnasat orchim, to accept guests. When you have a 17-bedroom house, this is not considered achnasat orchim. Achnasat orchim is when you live in a studio apartment and the guest is sleeping on your bed. That is really achnasat orchim. So, there's a story that one time there was two merchants, and they were observant Jews, and then they would go out of their village to get funds and then come back. One time on their way back, coming back from their journey, they saw that they're too close to Shabbat and they're not going to make it to their village. So they stopped in the first village they saw, and they started looking around. Is there any Jews here? Maybe we can stay Shabbat. We have to stay Shabbat. We have to park now. In a few minutes it's going to be too late. So they're walking around in the village, asking if there's any Jews. Nobody knows anybody. Towards the end, somebody tells them, go to the end, turn right, turn left. There's a little house there. There's a Jew there. They go there. They knock on the door. The person opens up. It's about an hour before Shabbat, and they tell them, listen, we're Jewish merchants. Can we stay here for Shabbat? He tells them, listen, I do have a room, but it's going to cost. Okay, no problem, we have money. He tells them it's going to cost you 10,000 ruble. 10,000 ruble? It's like $100,000. What? Listen, that's my price. You want it? Take it. Not, go spend Shabbat in the field. Okay, they say, okay, I guess, Shabbat is Shabbat, and we'll take our money that we have, and probably this whole trip was to spend for this Shabbat. Now they walk in, and now they spent a lot of money. Now they're like, okay, we spent a lot of money, let's get our money's worth. The whole Shabbat, bring us warm water, bring us more food, change the sheets, give me another towel, massage my back. They were driving him nuts. The whole Shabbat, they wanted to get their money's worth. Comes the end of the Shabbat, they say Shabbat Shavua Tov, they leave. As they're leaving, same story like with Binyamin and Yosef, they open the bags, they see the money's in the bag. Oh my gosh, what happened here? Maybe he's framing us like what Yosef did to Binyamin. They turn around, they come to his home, we found the money, what happened? He tells them, I don't need your money. What do you mean you don't need our money? You told us that's your price and you were firm about the price. He says, I don't need your money. So they ask him, so why did you ask for money? So he says, listen, I wanted to take you as guests. But if I would just invite you into my home, you would be shy. You would be sitting in the room quietly. You wouldn't want to ask for food. You wouldn't even bother me. You wouldn't want to be in my way. What kind of achnasat orchim is that? Once in a blue moon I get guests to come. I need to have real achnasat orchim. So I told you to pay me a lot of money, and you saw, you made me work for you. So I served you, and I catered you, and I cleaned you, and now take your money. I don't need your money. I just wanted to do the achnasat orchim the right way. So when you have a 17-bedroom mansion, this is not considered achnasat orchim. Achnasat orchim is that when you bring somebody into your home, and you really don't want to. The more powerful the mitzvah is, the more the light that surrounds your body shines. But that's what happens. And why do we use specifically the word donkey? The word donkey in Hebrew is chamor. Chamor comes from the same root of the word in Hebrew chomer. Chomer is a material, something physical. And these three individuals that we spoke about, Abraham, Moshe, and Mashiach, they, so to say, took care of the material. They were able to break and refine the material. That's why specifically these three had to deal with the donkey. The thing is that we are like sculptures. And a sculptor, he gets the clay and he starts shaping it and doing what he wants, and that would be the design. We are the designer of the material. So we are all called pasalim, sculptures. Hashem gives me material, chomer, and I have to now shape it. When I was a little kid, that's what we used to do in school. We had an arts and crafts class, and we used to get clay, and everybody would do something. One person would do like a funny looking image with like 2 ears and a nose, and they'd say, that's my mother. And each one would do something. One time I did this, my person makes a cup. Do whatever you do. You be creative. That's what they used to do. I was in 2nd grade. We used to get clay, mix it with water, and kvetch it, and make a plate, make an ashtray, make this, make all sorts of images. We always had the guy in the class that used to make all these funny things and say that this is you, I made you, and all sorts of things sticking out. But nevertheless, we are sculptures. Hashem is giving me chomer, the material, the physical material of the world, what's called chomriyut ha'olam, and Hashem says, now reshape it, now design it, now change it to something holy. This is called to refine the world. Specifically, Abraham, Moshe, and Mashiach, they had to go through stages to refine the material of the world. We have to do the exact same thing. We have to take the material, and instead of being a slave to the material, I have to take the material and refine it and elevate it to something spiritual. That's why in the beginning of the parasha, it says that they made the slaves work hard. How? Bechomer u'levanim. Chomer is the material and levanim is bricks. Very heavy, very physical. So I have to take the material part of the world and to refine it. That's why it had to go through 3 stages. The first one was Avraham Avinu, and what did he do? Lachvosh et hachamor. Lachvosh means that he put the saddle, and you take the saddle, there's like straps that you put underneath the belly, and you how? Cinch. And this is lachvosh, is to strap it. So the first stage was Avraham Avinu had to, first of all, overpower the material. Snatch it. Cinch it. I have to lachvosh et hachomer. I have to overpower the material. The second came Moshe. Ken, in Hebrew you say lirtom, is I have control over it, that it's not moving right now. The next one was already Moshe. Moshe already put his wife on his kids. That's when the body starts changing. When I'm born, especially if I'm not born observant, then my body is very coarse. I have to overpower the body now. I have to break the body to a point that now I have control over the body. Now, I'm already in a level that I'm a little bit more aware. I'm observant. So I have times that I'm overpowering the body, and there's times when the body is overpowering me. That was the time of Moshe Rabbeinu. He was walking next to the donkey, but his wife was on it. Sometimes I do control the chomriut. I don't fall for the lie of the physicality of the world. But we're still human, and you put now a tray of a good cake in front of us, then we're all going to be like, let me feed a little bit the chomer. Let me feed the body a little bit. Very few people are going to be like, no, it's not good for my body. I rather eat a good salad. So we're still kind of in a limbo. Sometimes we overpower the materialism, sometimes we don't. But at the end comes Mashiach, where he's already riding on the chomer. He's already completely subduing the material part of the world, the materialism. Mashiach is not going to be riding on a donkey, by the way. He's not going to come on a little donkey and like Sancho Pancho. He's going to probably come with a jet. But the problem, I'm joking, not a jet. But he's not riding on a donkey. He's riding on the materialism. He's going to completely control the materialism, that he's going to have 100% control over the world. And these are the three eras, the three stages of Avraham, Moshe, and Moshe Rabbeinu, and Mashiach. How does that get to do with me? Because let me just summarize. I know there's another class we want to finish real quick. How does that get to do with me? Well, I understood the idea right now, but I want to take something from that. Is that my agenda is to bring the redemption, is to bring Mashiach over here. Now I'm already in the level that I subduing the chomer. I'm already in the awareness that that there is a materialism here that needs to be refined, that needs to be elevated. So I put tefillin from leather, and I put tzitzit from a wool, and I have an etrog, and I have a sukkah, and I already am aware that I have to take the physicality now and refine it and to elevate it. But I'm still stuck that I have all these desires. I still want an iPhone 17 or whatever number it's holding on now, and I still want a nicer car, nicer clothes, and I'm still stuck in the materialism. And I need to refine it in order for Mashiach to come and completely override the materialism, so he will be able to overpower it. The only thing that I need to do here is to just know how I need to elevate and to refine the world. And the more that I'm applying myself to do mitzvot, this is what I said, the story with the Chassid from Slonin, by the fact that he was doing the mitzvot, that's where the shine came out. When I'm busy performing the mitzvot, and specifically the physical ones, a lot of people say, why all this mitzvot? I'll be honest, I'll be nice, I'm not going to lie, No, you have to be involved specifically with the physical mitzvot, because that's how you refine the materialism. That's how you elevate the physical part of the world in order to bring it to a state that Mashiach can come and completely override the chomer, to bring us to a level that I can actually see the godliness in the material. Right now I don't see. I see the materialistic part of the world. Mashiach is going to be able to completely overpower it, that I'm actually going to see the godly revelation in the physical world. But I have to apply that I have to take the physical, whatever it is, whatever physical object it is, so I can now show the reality that it's actually spiritual, and there's something godly in it. And when I'm able to do that, that's how I'm preparing the world for Mashiach. We have to prepare. I know we want Mashiach just to come here and do all the job, but we have to do it. It comes and teaches us that the same thing with Moshe. Moshe had to get them out of the first exile. He caused them to do mitzvot. We're going to learn that in 3 weeks. That he told them, you have to circumcise yourself, get the sacrifice of Pesach, do mitzvot, be involved in mitzvot. That's what's going to allow the godly light to penetrate into the physical world, so I can elevate it. Mashiach says, you have to do what you have to do, I'll do what I have to do. You have to bring godly light into the physical world. And the only way to do it is to perform the mitzvot and to follow the Torah, which this is also applying not only for Jews, by the way. Non-Jews also have mitzvot. And they also have to know that. And it's up to us to educate them. We receive the Torah to learn it and to give it over. So it's not only the Jews have to do mitzvot, everybody has to do mitzvot, Jews and non-Jews. What I want to take from that is that we're so close to the coming of Mashiach. This is already the last few steps, the last few breaths. Obviously what we need to do is just to increase the mitzvot in our life, whatever it is. And specifically the physical mitzvot, that I can bring the ability that the godly light will penetrate into the physical world. So Mashiach can come and finish his work and just expose that everything physical, the essence of it, is coming from Hashem. B'ezrat Hashem, we should put our mind to it and to see the importance of it. And if each and every one of us does a little bit more to help, then the world will be refined to a much better, much higher level. Needless to say, it will prepare the world for the coming of Mashiach, and B'ezrat Hashem, we should see the fruits of our hard labor very soon. Should have a beautiful, restful week.